Now we're gonna go into an area now that is really terrifying for everybody, and that is the concept of gun-mounted lights. The first thing I want to say is that the world for law enforcement and the world for civilians is very different when it comes to a gun-mounted light. For a law enforcement officer, these are just absolute must-have tools. If you're in law enforcement, you need a light on your gun, because you're going to be searching more in an average week than a civilian will search in his or her entire life. For a civilian, in my own thinking, the gun-mounted light is a secondary mounted light. The guns that I have in my home for self-defense all have gun-mounted lights, but I always want to have this light as a primary. I want a handheld light as a primary. Why is that? Well, think about rule 2. Don't point the gun at anything you don't want to kill or destroy. If the only light I have, my sole light, is on the gun, then I am going to be pointing that gun using the light to search. I might find a child. I might find Alf the Wonder Beagle, something else that I don't actually want to shoot. So I like the idea of a secondary handheld light that lets me search. And the gun-mounted light, what if I find somebody? What if there's an intruder in my house and following vocal commands, that intruder gives up? Someone who's had maybe one too many adult beverages and found themselves in the wrong house. Stupid, but it happens. Well, I'm going to want to do a couple of things. I may need to call the police. I may need to restrain a spousal unit. If I've got a gun-mounted light, I've got all kinds of options. I can turn that light on, take the aggressor to the ground, move the light off the aggressor, slightly off, but so I can still see them in the splash of the light. If I need to move the light back to the aggressor, I've got it there. It gives me a hand to do other things with.